All right, good blue, bad blue. Even though I'm wearing green this time, we are back. I'm Justin,
This is Brandon.
and it's been a while, but as just like our last show, we're here to talk about the Carolina Duke game. This time, round two in Cameron, or as I like to call it, Hansbrough Indoor.
Oh, okay.
Brandon,
Yes.
I mean, what did you think, man?
I'm
Just
disappointed.
disappointed.
Very.
Your prediction on our last show, though, with score wise, was pretty close, by the way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, mine was way off, but yours was pretty close.
I think I said 83-79 Duke.
Is that what you said?
I think it was close. It was in that ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, it was like you had Carolina with like a 4 or 5,
Yeah.
with a 4 or 5 point loss, whereas I had Carolina with like a 15-point win
Mm-hmm.
and high scoring. But so obviously you watched the game.
Of course.
Did you watch it at home or what was the story?
So I watched it at multiple points while door dashing.
Nice.
I would stop. I would pause my dash for good points, go take an order, and then go right in between and keep watching. I would actually pause it. So I got done with the game a lot later than other people.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I did get to watch the entirety of the game,
Heck yeah.
the entirety of, well, I'll get into it on how I feel. But
That's-
no, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, that's awesome. I watched it at a local bar or whatever.
Well,
Yeah, Dunwell's nice little place.
Nice.
Man, I guess let's just get into the thoughts of the game. I guess
Right
right
ahead.
away, right when it started, Cormac Ryan hitting like 3 threes in the
Gosh,
first,
bless.
minute 45.
Mm-hmm.
Does he just save his best game for when he plays y'all? I mean, this is like his 8th year of college.
I don't think he's done.
When he was at
Feels
Notre
like it.
when he was at Notre Dame, he killed Duke like a few times.
What is it with him
mean-
and Caleb Love? I don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for last year.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, literally, Caleb Love played great against Duke for 2 years, and then, well, Carolina just who knows what happened
They
last
got
year.
better.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, when Cormac's hitting those threes, I'm like, okay, like that's probably all he's gonna hit. I was like, he's probably done. He's probably gonna finish with like 12 points. Well, this guy finishes with 31, his career high. Did you expect that at all from a Duke fan? Did you think Cormac Ryan had that in him?
No.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
No, not at all. I mean, I know he's a good player and he's a great shooter, obviously. He's been
Yeah.
a great shooter all season. He's been a great compliment to the team. He's proving why this new method of senior transfer is working. It's working well, and I think that's the way that college basketball is going to go. I actually had a good laugh at my own team's expense the other day because they had a post about next year's team with Cooper Flagg, and they have a 7'2" center who's supposed to be a top 5
Yeah.
pick in the 25 draft,
Mhm.
saying that order is going to be restored. I don't know if I agree with that because when you build teams like this, and when they're physical, they're strong, they play aggressive, they've been playing at the speed of college basketball for 4 or 5 years, makes a difference.
Oh yeah.
I'm noticing what's happening here. And I noticed a big physicality difference on Saturday night. That was one of my disappointing factors
It's
to go with it.
Yeah, and the physicality part's weird because Carolina never really plays physical. I mean, ever. Not just
Yeah.
recently, but really ever. I don't know if it's well. It's also weird because Duke didn't play physical. I feel like normally Duke is kind of a physical team, and they just
Usually, yes.
But this year, honestly, this Duke team, they're soft.
Oh, just so
Yeah.
that he didn't just say that. I don't know how well that can be
Oh,
seen.
there you go. Yeah,
That's one of my talking points, and it says Duke is soft.
yeah.
They are a soft, finesse type team.
Yeah, and it leads with normally Duke's best player is somebody that wants to get dirty and maybe play dirty, but at least get in there and bang bodies and be tough. But this year their best player, I don't know if it's their best player, but it's the leader of the team, Filipowski. That dude wants zero contact with people. I mean, he bumps into a fan and he had to get his leg amputated.
Yeah.
So I mean, who really? Obviously, he doesn't like to be touched. I mean.
No.
So,
If he thinks this is rough, he has no clue what he's in for in the NBA. Of course, he'll probably be riding a lot of the bench in the beginning in the NBA
well,
or overseas. Those guys are tough too. The
Oh, yeah.
overseas
They're
games are
tougher.
way
They're tougher.
better. Yeah,
yeah.
way better than people give credit for.
I think we're gonna mention the NBA really quick
Yeah.
because I made this comment during the game. Harrison Ingram is the only player on both teams that I think has a future in the NBA.
On both teams?
On both teams.
You don't think Jared McCain?
Maybe,
in
possibly.
the future, not immediately. He will get drafted. He'll probably be a first-round pick. Late first-round pick. But
maybe higher than that. But I think he'll get drafted, but I think he needs to fit in the right system.
Yeah.
He could very easily get lost
in a Golden State type system.
He needs somewhere where they can play him. Yeah, I think he can easily get lost on a bad team like the Pistons or somebody, and you just never hear from him because he's never going to develop.
Yeah, I think happens a lot.
Yeah, if you want to get into potential, Jared McCain probably has the highest potential of anybody on this team. But if they just go to the NBA and play like they are now, Harrison Ingram is the best pro player as of how they are right now.
Right. The thing with Harrison Ingram, though, is all 30 NBA teams have that exact player on their team.
Yes, but some of those players are getting old. Draymond Green, we're looking at you. Yep. Like Harrison Ingram, at 21 years old, can easily step in and fill that role for the next 10 or 15 years for one of these teams.
He's a big part of your win Saturday night. He's a quiet but a huge part.
I think if you look at the two biggest keys for Carolina winning games, it's Elliot Cadeau. Mm-hmm. He played 21 minutes in this game. Only had 1 assist, 7 points, 3 rebounds. But when he set out in the first half with 2 fouls, the lead went from 13 to 4. And you can see just the ball doesn't move without him. And then Harrison Ingram.
He plays defense.
Harrison Ingram, plays defense, rebounds, does whatever he needs to do. And when he's not out there, it's also a different game. So those are the two. Yeah, you can talk about R.J. Davis being able to score. You can talk about Cormac Ryan getting points every so often. Baycott getting rebounds, but Ingram and Cadeau are the reason why Carolina won that game, and they're probably going to be the reason why Carolina wins any games the rest of the year because they're all pretty much tough games from here on out.
Oh, I think they're going to win the ACC tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
they figured out the formula to beat Duke.
Yeah.
The second best team.
Yeah.
And I'm about to stir some pot here. You ready, Justin?
Sure.
We are the Dallas Cowboys.
Of
college basketball.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, y'all have won the preseason championship 7 years in a row,
but not the persona of it. Okay, so when we play a mediocre to bad team, we look dominant.
Yeah,
I hear the commentators. This is a Final Four worthy team. I can see them making a deep run in March. But when they get into a top 10 matchup, they get into a top 15 matchup, or just a really hot shooting team that's moving the ball well, they lose their minds and they panic. And I have a number of areas to go around on blame for that. But they have one top 25 or current top 25 win this whole season against Baylor.
Yeah.
On a neutral floor.
Early in the season.
Season. That Baylor team's a different team now. I'm not sure that Duke would really be able to compete with anybody in the top 15 right now. I'm really not sure if they could. The Carolina exposed what it takes to honestly beat them, and we will get further into that, throughout the show. But with all that being said, they are figured out. They really are.
Yeah,
and that's why I think if they play UNC a third time, they're going to lose.
Yeah, I think, just like the Cowboys, though, every year in the offseason, the Cowboys are the Super Bowl champs and Duke is the national champs.
Well, our fans are as obnoxious as they are. It's eerily similar.
And, the formula to beat Duke, I think, I don't know what you think the formula is, but to me, it's the rebounding advantage. Carolina out-rebounded them by 11.
39-28. Yeah. Got that written down right here.
And no team's going to beat any good team getting out-rebounded by 10. Doesn't matter how good you are at anything else. And Carolina really rebounds really well. I
got another really interesting stat.
Yeah, what's it? Yeah.
Okay, no, go ahead. So you're looking at the points off of turnovers. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. Carolina had 13 turnovers. Duke had 7.
Yeah.
Okay? Carolina almost doubled them in turnovers. It sure didn't feel like it, but they did. Carolina had 14 points off of their 7 turnovers. Duke had 15 points off of 13 turnovers.
Yeah, and
that's a bad stat. And then what's the number one thing that happens off of turnovers?
On the fast break points.
Fast break points. Jay Billis if he has one saying that's actually correct, there's turnovers for touchdowns.
And Carolina won the fast breaks
19-6.
Yeah.
Wow, you did your homework too. I love that.
It's the steals were even though. Carolina's been like this all year. A lot of their turnovers are just, hey, let's throw the ball out of bounds, or hey, let's travel, or let's just do something stupid. They don't really turn the ball over live possession very often. So really, Carolina has done pretty well this year in not giving up fast break because they just don't turn the ball over at half court. They don't let the ball get stolen from them. A lot of the time, like I said, just throwing the ball out of bounds.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the formula if you'd like to hear.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah.
But I do want to get back into these. Duke led in 2 categories: least turnovers and 6 blocks to 3.
Yeah.
That is it. And Duke had 16 fouls. UNC has 17 fouls, but whatever. That's irrelevant.
Yeah. I mean,
Duke also missed 3 more free throws than UNC did, so that kind of counteracted
they also Duke shot 6 more free throws though.
Yes, they did. So here's the formula. All right. You take Phillip. If you go with Phillip, you get a big. Now this only works with a big-bodied, strong, good scorer, good rebounder like Baycott. And if you look around at different conferences, the Big East, the Big 12, where they had really big physical guys in there, you go with Filipowski, you make him foul you take him out of the game, they're in trouble.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Filipowski could not guard.
No.
I mean, honestly, yeah. Is there anybody on the Carolina team he can guard out of any of the big guys? I mean,
Ingram possibly, but that would still be suspect.
Yeah, because even when Jalen Washington...
Ingram has more moves.
Yeah,
weird to say that, but he does.
Ingram's a way better player than Baycott. But as soon as Washington came in, I mean, he had a big dunk. So it's like, obviously, he proved if he had more playing time, he could have probably done more.
And John Shire did actually a really counterproductive way to protect Filipowski. So he brings in Ryan Young, which, I'm sorry, Ryan Young, I look for, hopefully you're going to law school, hopefully you're going to med school, or whatever you're going to do in life. I'm sure you're going to be good at it.
You don't think
but it's not basketball. What?
You don't think he'd be number 1 draft pick in the G League like Jack White? Okay.
Jack White could play, though. That guy was really underrated. He was just on a team with Zion and those guys, so he got overlooked.
Not just throwing that out there.
Sean Stewart, I like his game, but he was just so outmanned, and he's young, and he was going against a big-bodied guy. When you can... And they're playing through Baycott the whole time. Anytime you can play through your center, he can be physical. He's going to draw a foul. And if they decide to double him, there's Cormac Ryan for 5 or 6 out of 7 threes.
Yeah, 6. He made 6
threes.
He made 6.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Plus, I mean,
6 out of 8. Yeah.
Plus, R.J. Davis driving into the lane. You had Elliot Cadeau, lightning fast step. They were passing out of everything. They just look so comfortable. And yet, what aggravated me the most is Duke had 4 or 5 solid chances to be in this game at the end. And they blew every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, every time Duke got within 4 or 5, it was like either Carolina
shot themselves in the foot.
Either Carolina would get an open shot and score, or Duke would miss a ball or turn the ball over.
Or go in for just an insane layup. Like they were trying to do too much. They played panic. They didn't play under control. But I think that North Carolina won that game more than Duke lost it because they figured out the formula. Take your big guy, go with Filipowski, draw those fouls, make a weaker, smaller defender have to guard him, and then when they double down on him, because Ryan Young will not handle Baycott, neither will Sean Stewart.
No.
And there's a lot of centers in America that won't either.
Oh, yeah.
But when they did that, they were able to get kickouts, swing good passes, drive-ins, and hit great shots. They played a great game. But, Duke had their shot. But now they're figured out. And that's why I don't think they could probably play 4 or 5 times and still lose.
Yeah, I think this Carolina team is one thing that we have not seen between these two teams in a while, and it's a team that plays under control and a team that almost just does not feel pressure at all. And it's like they kind of want the pressure, really. And it's weird because, and I'm not even saying it's always when it's upperclassmen, because I've seen it with underclassmen teams as well, but it does help that Carolina does start an older team. I mean, you have, 2 fifth-year seniors?
4 seniors and a junior.
Yeah, well, no. Well, I mean, Cadeau's a freshman. Cadeau's a freshman.
Oh, he is starting now. He wasn't starting in the beginning.
No. Yeah, at the beginning we started Wojcik.
That's it.
Yeah, who now played 2 minutes against Duke and had 1 foul. But
they figured out.
But yeah, I mean, you have Ingram as a junior. Yeah, I mean, Davis as a first-year senior, as I like to call him now. And then Baycott and Ryan on their 5th years. I mean, actually, Ryan's on his 6th year even. So
yeah, Ryan's out after this.
Yeah, and so is Baycott. But it's Yeah, they're all playing under control, man, and it's weird to see because we haven't seen that from either one of our teams, which mostly because
No.
both teams have been young the last few years. I mean, when's the last time Duke even started 2 or 3 seniors?
Actually started
Yeah,
two
yeah,
or three seniors
yeah,
that were good.
yeah.
2010.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, when you
The
won the title.
Shire,
Yeah,
yes.
and Carolina the same way. I think last time Carolina did it was 17 when they won the title.
Did they have that many seniors and juniors? They
Yeah,
probably
the
did. They
whole
had
the whole
Isaiah Hicks, Kennedy Meeks,
Joel Berry,
Joel Berry,
Theo Pinson,
Theo
Justin Jackson.
Pinson, Jay Jackson.
Yeah, you had
Yes.
3 seniors or 2 seniors and 3 juniors.
That's what
Yeah.
wins titles. I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. And then I mean, but I've seen it with the young team too, because in 19 Carolina kind of played under control,
Yeah.
but they had like Kobe White, Nasir Little. You know, they had a younger team. The only older player on that team really was Luke May,
Mm-hmm.
but they had a younger team, but they played under control. So it can be done with younger teams, but I think you're seeing even nationally that older teams are getting it done.
I'm telling you, you always have a better chance with an older team. Plus, they're more physically developed. We've been over this in the prior podcast, so this isn't new news. But when you have like what's Filipowski, 20 years old?
Yeah, probably.
What's Baycott, 24?
Yeah.
23?
24. Yeah.
Okay, that's 3 more years of lifting weights, running, being better in a system, being stronger. It's not a mystery why they won this game and why I feel like they'll win a third time and
Yeah.
why I feel like they'll probably win going away. I say by 10. I'm calling it. And yes, I do think they'll meet a third time because ACC is actually in danger of only getting 2 teams in the tourney.
Yeah, the ACC.
Virginia is
yeah.
last 4 in, so if they can get to the semifinals, they'll probably get in.
Yeah, the ACC has turned out to be very weak this year.
Yeah.
Very surprising too, which we can kind of get to in a little bit.
We will.
But let's talk about Carolina and
Yeah.
just kind of what they've done here recently, the last few games. You had one game where RJ Davis scores 42, only player in double figures. This game, you have Cormac Ryan with 31, Harrison Ingram with 14, nobody else with double figures. I mean, obviously they can win with just one player or 2 players just going off. I mean, they don't need all.
That's a sign of unselfishness.
Oh yeah.
That's a beautiful trait in a good team. When you have the guys who normally get maybe 1 to 2 rebounds, getting 6 and 7 rebounds,
Yeah.
extra rebounds, extra stats, getting blocks, getting loose balls, creating turnovers for touchdowns, getting fast break points. I mean, most of the fast break points were because Elliot Cadeau played great defense.
Oh,
What'd you say, 7 points?
yeah, only 7 points. Yeah.
But he was honestly, I mean, outside of Baycott kicking out to Cormac Ryan and then Baycott, working the center of the big guys of Duke, Elliot Cadeau was one of the biggest driving forces because, number one, he plays great perimeter defense. Jared McCain had a very quiet game until about the end when he started hitting some shots.
yeah.
Okay.
When Cadeau was back on the bench with 4 fouls.
It makes a big difference. That player comes out, you got a weaker defender, slower defender come in, Jared McCain's going to eat you. And that's exactly what happened. But they also adjusted to that when they got Cadeau back in there. That was worth risking the 5th foul.
Oh, yeah.
It really was. Yeah. You also have, I mean, as far as their attributing factors, unselfishness is what's going to win these types of games.
Absolutely. And it's crazy, too, because as unselfish as Carolina played, they only had 11 assists on 31 made field goals. That's probably one of their lower percentages of the year, actually.
Cormac Ryan was hitting everything.
Well, yeah. And they had so many fast break points, too.
Big difference.
Yeah, so Carolina really only had 2 players score. 2 out of, I mean, they had, we'll just say 8 players played.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, on the other hand, 4 players score 13 or more points, and then 4 players barely score at all. I mean, is that a good recipe? I mean, don't you kind of need some scoring from like a bench player or 2?
No, because they got killed in every category.
Yeah.
Except for blocks.
So maybe they rely too much on just their 4 main hitters.
They play scared. They played scared. They weren't going after the things that Carolina were going after at all. You have 6 fast break points, but you have 6 less turnovers. Yeah. Somebody explain that. Where's the disconnect? I mean, I can tell you where the disconnect is. They get a turnover, then they turn it into a half-court offense.
Yeah.
You go to the rim. If you miss, you miss. But you go to the rim, you try to get the foul. You have a big guy trailing for the rebound, which is exactly what y'all were doing.
Oh, absolutely.
If you missed a layup or you didn't have a shot, you kicked out to Ryan, you kicked out to RJ Davis. Plus, it also helps when Cadeau and R.J. Davis can literally outrun anyone on Duke.
Yeah, I mean,
really outrun anyone in the ACC.
Yeah, I feel like Cadeau's got to be one of the top 5 fastest players in America.
Has to be a Ty Lawson with a lot less skill.
Yeah,
but
it depends.
Ooh, I mean,
he can't score. He can't score as good, but he's 3 times as good as passing. So to me, yeah.
Well, you say he's a sophomore,
freshman.
He's a freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Well, he'll get better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Ty Lawson's freshman year, he started half the games. The other half, we started Bobby Frazier. So there you go. Cadeau should have had a 3-pointer, though. I don't know. They reviewed that one. I still don't understand how that.
Oh, I thought it was a 3. First off, they called it. Did they call it a 3 or did they call it a 2?
I think they called it a 3 originally.
And then they changed it to a 2?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
I just didn't think there was enough evidence to make it a 2.
Zero evidence. I mean, the one replay you clearly saw the.
I mean, if you want to get as microscopic as possible, but at that point you shouldn't have to. Call it what you made it.
The one shot they had of it, though, clearly there was space between it, so I didn't understand. But back to the box score. If you look at Duke's box score, it kind of reminds me of Carolina's box score from last year or the year before. Yeah, 4 guys play 34-plus minutes. 1 guy plays every minute. 2 other guys play all but 1 minute. That's just not a good – you can't win. No team has ever really won, since, in modern basketball with the shot clock and everything. No team has really won with just 4 people playing. And that's basically what they had. Now, the 5th starter, Mitchell, only played 19 minutes. Okay, well, so you're – 1 guy goes in and out, the other 4 play the whole time. Like, you just can't win. Can't win that way.
It's what scares me for y'all when you get into an Elite 8 matchup with a Kentucky who, for whatever reason, has found a way to turn it around. We'll go over that. For y'all, I mean, it scares me in that regard. I have a lot more fears for Duke.
Carolina's playing Carolina plays decent amount of bench players now. I mean,
but how productive are they?
I mean, you got 6 points from Seth Trimble, and also he had 4 rebounds. I mean, I'd say he played a pretty good game. Withers also scored 6 points and had 8 rebounds.
See, okay, so you're sitting here talking about the players not scoring.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard about that man getting 8 rebounds in this season? Maybe a handful at the most.
Yeah.
Those are 8 huge rebounds.
Yeah. But really here lately, he's been picking up his rebounds. So it's like, I feel like they do what they need to do. You know what I mean? Like, Carolina really just goes with the hot hand.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen Jalen Washington only had 2 points. A couple of games ago, he had 11. You know what I'm saying? Duke, though, really, honestly, when's the last time you saw a Duke player off the bench score double figures?
Oh, let's see. If I need to go back to a year, Grayson Allen?
Yeah, years ago. Exactly.
2015 when they went all the way? I mean, that's all I can think of. I mean, maybe there's guys in there I'm not thinking of, but people who come in there consistent. I mean, their best threat is TJ Power because he can shoot. He really can shoot. He did prove that.
He did. Yeah, he made 1 3 on Carolina. But, yeah, 3 Duke bench players. Here's what they did against Carolina combined, 3 of them. 7 rebounds, 0 assists, 7 points. All right?
Ryan Young, Sean Stewart, and TJ Power.
Yeah.
All right, well, TJ Power hit 2 threes, so that's
just
7 points.
Just 1 3. They have him as 1 3.
I was sworn he hit a second one. But either way, okay, so he had almost half the points out of 3 guys. 2 centers.
He actually had all their points on the bench.
Oh, he had maybe that's what it was.
The Carolina's bench players, they played 4, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what they had. 12 rebounds, 1 assist, 14 points.
So big.
Yeah.
That is so big.
Yeah. And, I mean, also the Carolina bench players played, 39 minutes combined between the 4 of them. Duke bench played 30.
And you know what the thing that's still sticking out to me on this, Justin, is that we're sitting here listing all these really, really lopsided stats in this game. And it was still only a 5-point win. I watched Duke botch 4 of them that I can think of right off the top of my head, solid chances to take the lead and stay in the game.
Absolutely.
But then they would give up turnovers for touchdowns. And especially when, and by the way, something's got to change. I hate the fact that they can change a call because of replay. I am sick of that. They gave, and it benefited Duke, but now they did go down and turn it over. Jeremy Roach.
Yeah.
Literally just handed the ball to Ryan.
Yeah, dude,
on that.
He literally handed it to him.
And but no, I am not in favor of that. Like, first off, I think R.J. Davis got fouled by Filipowski, which should have put Filipowski out of the game, to be fair.
Let's don't get started. Let's don't talk about the missed fouls, because I thought Filipowski fouled out like 6 times.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
I mean, it's like
we can talk about it if you want. I will agree with you.
Once he picked up his 4th foul, the referees were like, yeah, he's not fouling out.
Well, he should have got teed up for the trip.
Yeah, I mean,
No, that was on purpose.
No, and I know it was, but to me, that's just not a talking point, because I don't know. Yeah, I think you could tee him up. Obviously, do I feel like he should have been? Yes. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Let him play.
Do you think it's because he's not hateable? Because Grayson Allen got absolutely crucified for months and still does.
He also did it like 8 times.
He did. He did do it.
No, I think it's just the referees knew that this was a rivalry game and it had a lot on the line, and I think sometimes you just gotta let the people play. You know what I mean? And the referees did a great job of letting them play.
They did.
But it was just funny how Filipowski gets 4 fouls, and the next thing you know, he's literally just shoving people around, and there's just nothing.
I mean, R.J. Davis got murdered on that play. I mean, he literally got thrown down coming off of a rebound, and then they review the play and then see that the ball did not hit the rim, and they gave a shot clock violation to Duke. Like, it's not what call it on the floor. Sometimes you miss calls. I've seen it happen with both teams ever since I've been watching this game for almost 40 years.
Yeah, I think I'm more upset. I'm more upset about the missed fouls on him than I was the tripping call that wasn't called. Like, because to me, it's like he definitely should be out of the game now. You know what I mean? Like, you watch any game and that's a foul call.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently in this instance, it's not. And yeah, I think when it comes to referees looking at replays, I think there should be a limit on how many times they can go look at a replay. And I know they say right now it's like in the last 2 minutes or whatever, but it's like that's not enough, because they'll go 8 times in those 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there should be like a limit. They should be like timeouts. You should have like 3, or maybe just don't let them go at all and let the coaches be like, hey, we get 2 challenges like in football. And that's
got to start.
Yeah, and that's it. Just be like, here, listen, each coach gets 2 challenges. If you get them right, you get to keep going, whatever. But that should be it. No more. I just get tired of replays because they take forever.
I hate instant replay in basketball.
They just take forever.
I hate it.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because the game is so fast, especially the higher up you get in levels of basketball and college basketball, outside of foreign pros. College basketball is the second highest form of basketball in this land.
Yeah.
All right? It really is. And the game is super fast. I can find 5 or 6 fouls on every single replay.
Yeah.
I really can.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just like
each time.
It's like in football. They hold every play.
Every play.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get their jersey tugged, and the DB's going to get away with it.
But it's also goes back to, and this was in the first Carolina Duke game as well, the referees have really honestly let them play. And I said from the very start of this year, it was about the 4th game that Carolina played this year, I said, this Carolina team's actually really good if the referees let them play. And every game that the refs have let them play, Carolina's pretty much won.
Yes.
I mean, the only one I can think of that they lost when the referees let them play was the Georgia Tech game. But other than that, every one that Carolina's losses has usually been a lot of foul calls, a lot of free throws, no rhythm to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But this Carolina team, they want to play tough. You see Baycott shoving people around. Ingram is shoving people around. They let them play.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, that's how basketball should be played. I think basketball, if both teams get to 10 fouls and a half, that's too much. That's too much. There were 33 foul calls in this game.
Yes.
That's good. I'm good with that. That's a good number.
John Shire, but there was a point where, and listen, I credit Carolina for taking advantage of a good strategy, where Ryan Young and Sean Stewart were there to collect fouls.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Filipowski would have actually fouled out, and it might have been in the first half.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, because the guy could not the only way he was stopping Baycott was to foul him.
Yeah.
And that's why he had to protect, Filipowski for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I am just so disappointed in the softness of where my team has gone.
It's very surprising.
I mean, can they turn it around? Yeah, I've seen magic happen. So have you, Justin, all the years of watching basketball. Weird things happen in the tourney.
I mean, I just saw Carolina make the finals 2 years ago,
as an 8 seed.
Well, that was way too low, though. But that team had no
Well,
business.
they had just lost to Virginia Tech right before the tournament started, and so did Duke.
Nah, but that's...
But I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. Now, they'll get a 1 seed this year. Even if they get to the finals of the ACC and they do happen to lose to Duke or to whoever.
Oh, yeah, they should
they'll get a 1 seed.
It's still a toss-up, I feel like. I think Carolina's got to make the finals. I think Carolina's got to make,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they make the finals.
If they make finals, yeah.
Yeah, if they make the finals. No, if they lose first round, if there's
Yeah.
some really unforeseen reason they lose first round of the ACC, no, they should drop to a 2 and even flirt with a 3 seed.
No, I think they're
if they lose first round.
Yeah, they're
I think that's a moot point anyway.
2 seeds are too they're too weak right now.
Where
you only have 2 good 2 seeds right now.
Duke has a shot at being a 2 seed.
A shot.
Well, they have to win the ACC tournament.
Exactly, and they need other teams to lose. But let's talk about the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
Let's talk
about
it. It started today as we're talking. First round, Notre Dame versus Georgia Tech. Who won?
I think Notre Dame won, right?
I don't know, dude. Who cares?
Well, Notre Dame was up. We talked about this right before the podcast.
Yeah.
The first day of the ACC tournament is just unwatchable basketball.
Yeah.
Now Notre Dame was up big.
Okay, so they'll go on to play.
They'll
go on to play Wake Forest, so it doesn't matter. Wake's beating either one of those.
I
teams.
agree.
Okay, so the next game, I know NC State beat Louisville, and probably Kenny Payne's last game as Louisville head coach, right?
If they have any care whatsoever of their program, then gosh, I hope
that's
so.
what I'm saying. They have to get rid of him.
I mean,
how bad is he, man? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
How many? But
so
here's the thing, though. They actually have a couple of players that not immediately, but could be NBA level players.
I mean, agreed.
How are you? Hold on. Let's see. They went, and this is obviously the last game. 8-24. Yeah. You're Louisville.
Yeah. Hey, that doubled their wins from last year.
Well, at least they're trending in the right direction.
Kenny Payne has 12 wins now total. So
all right, and well, at least they only lost by single digits.
Yeah, and then Louisville lost State, and then Miami lost to Boston College.
All right, I'm actually gonna only slightly defend Miami a little bit.
Injuries?
Oh, their injuries were
It's been
awful.
bad. It's been bad.
They lost. I mean, I think they're 2 Norchad O'Meara and a couple of other. They had their main point guard.
Yeah.
All get injured. I mean, they were playing with a makeshift team.
Oh yeah.
That goes exactly back to the point of the beginning of my rant about Duke being soft and Duke being a Dallas Cowboys team. When they played Miami in Miami, they looked like they were ready to take on any team in the country.
Yeah.
Then they got a serious reality check on Saturday, but I digress.
No, Miami was a team where they made the Final Four last year, and I thought they had a good chance to make it back this year, and instead they're
done.
Yeah, I mean, injuries happen though.
They finished 15. They finished with a losing record. 15
yeah.
and 17.
Yeah. So second round of the ACC.
Let's go.
Here's the matchups. They're set in stone, so we'll predict from here. You'll have Virginia Tech and Florida State, the 8-9 seed. Man, I'm taking Virginia Tech for that one. I think Florida State kind of overshot early in the year and I think came back to reality. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
I think Florida State's where they should be and maybe even a little too high, actually, because I feel like they weren't supposed to be good this year. They don't really have a good team. They're just big. They're just tall. They're all like 7'6". I'm
going to go with about a 53 to 47% Virginia Tech.
I thought that was a score. I was going to say, okay, that sounds good.
It could be. But I'm going to go on, this is the fun part I have is my percentages in favoring of the team to win.
Yeah.
I don't think Virginia Tech's light years ahead. I think they're playing better ball right now. Florida State has also had some injuries.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Which they always do for some reason.
They're a very big and physical team.
Yeah.
But I am definitely – put it this way. If he wasn't sitting here and already said it and I had to make a bet on my phone, it'd be Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take
the money line. I wouldn't take the points.
No, it'll be a close game, but yeah, I like Virginia Tech just because they're playing better right now. If this was 3 months ago, I would have took Florida State. The other game will be Georgia Tech and Wake Forest. I think we both agree.
Georgia Tech.
Or Notre Dame, whoever. Who still doesn't matter.
I'm
sorry.
I'm going Wake Forest with a 75% chance to win.
Yeah, or win by 75. Either way.
I think Notre Dame's that bad.
Next game, NC State and Syracuse.
That's actually a closer game to call than I would think.
Man, this is one of those games where both teams are going to play good because of the ACC tournament, and they both always seem to play good in the ACC tournament.
I'm going Cuse.
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, I'll agree with that. Sure.
51-49.
As the final score?
No.
Oh, okay.
My percentage is to win.
I mean,
no, I think it'll be in the 75-70 mark.
Agreed. I'm just going to pick Syracuse just for the simple fact that it's hard for me to ever pick NC State to win any kind of game.
That's one thing we can agree. I hate them too. I do. Not as much as you do.
It's also just they suck. No, I think Syracuse wins that game. And then the other what?
If Syracuse can manage NC State's big guy, then
DJ Burns,
DJ Burns,
But DJ Burns he's not good enough to beat good teams by himself.
No, he's a European player for maybe 2 or 3 years till his knees give out.
Yeah, I mean he's a lighter version. That. He's a lighter version of Oscar Schwebe. The last matchup of the second round is Boston College and Clemson. Clemson needs this win to have any chance at the tournament.
And they're going to get it.
Yes, absolutely.
80%.
Absolutely. So Clemson will beat them. So that leads us to our quarterfinals.
Let's go.
Here's what we're predicting. North Carolina and Virginia Tech. I think North Carolina beats Virginia Tech for 90%. Sure. Yeah, I just think Virginia Tech, they're just not quite on that level. They got good potential, though. They do got some good young players. Virginia Tech could be there the next couple years.
I actually think this is – okay, I'm being objective here. I actually think that this game is going to be a 5 to 6 point game until you get down to about the last 11, 12 minutes, and they've been banging around with Baycott and Ingram the whole game, and then you just wear a team out. Plus, your guards have to keep up with two of the fastest guys in Cadeau and R.J. Davis. So I think Carolina will definitely pull away. Plus, they're
fresher.
It's not pressure.
Fresher because Virginia Tech will be playing the day before.
Well, you got to remember, UNC's had a nice layoff.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus, they had an extreme emotion. Don't be surprised if they come out flat.
Well,
they had a really emotional win against Duke.
Yeah.
Really emotional. The most emotional.
You're describing the game that you're describing with Virginia Tech is almost exactly how their last game with Virginia Tech went. And secondly, I do expect Carolina to come out flat. They lost the game after Duke last time, earlier in the year. And also, Carolina just never plays good in the ACC tournament. Roy Williams didn't care about it. Hubert Davis seems to care about it a little bit. And this team is just very prideful. The only reason I'm predicting Carolina to win is because I think Hubert Davis cares about the tournament more so than Roy Williams.
I think he does too.
So we both got North Carolina beating Virginia Tech.
Especially since I heard a great stat the other day in my favor, and this blew my mind. I actually had to go back and look at it. The last time North Carolina beat Duke in the ACC tournament?
97.
98.
Yeah, 98. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The last time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Crazy. That's just weird to think.
Man,
they've met a number of times.
Yeah, it's... No.
But that's Roy's fault because, like you said, Roy's more focused on the national than the ACC, which... I think it's always good to use the conference.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina
to get ready for the big dance.
Yeah,
and that's my thought.
What was the stat that they showed on the game when Carolina and Duke played the last game of the season for the chance to win the title on the?
It was lopsided.
Carolina was like one of the last 7 or whatever. Yeah, I think the ACC tournament. I almost feel like it's bad to win your conference tournament because it's hard to win 9 or 10 straight games. Especially when at least half those are going to be against good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always thought it's just good just to lose in the conference.
And even though I think UNC will beat Duke for a third time, Duke's going to throw the kitchen freaking sink at them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, So, let's just move on to the
next game. Back to we're
the next one. I think could be the best game of the third round. Actually, right. Pittsburgh and Wake Forest. Our prediction is correct.
I'm going Wake.
Yeah, I'm going to take Wake also. I just feel like Pitt is just a team that's just kind of overgone a little bit now. I think they're coming back down to earth. I think they've had some stuff figured out, and I think teams have figured them out now, and I don't think Capel is maybe not the coach to rewrite it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, he had it. People figured it out. I don't know if he's good enough to refigure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no offense to him. He's still a good coach. Pitt's always, I think with him there, Pitt's always going to be a top 5 or 6 team in the conference. If he can figure out how to recruit better, they can be top 4 in the conference every year. But he needs the talent to win the conference tournament, and I don't think he has the talent.
Especially with some of the studs that Wake has. I just feel like that's a very bad matchup for Pittsburgh.
Absolutely,
the way Wake shoots the ball.
Yeah, and Wake is playing for a tournament spot.
They are.
I mean, if they win that game, that's probably in the tournament or out of the tournament on that game.
Right now, the first 4 out. I mean, that's all predictions. Who knows?
But they're probably going to have to win 2 games in this tournament. Yeah.
I think they'll get it.
I think so too. I think so as well. The next game, as our prediction, would be Duke and Syracuse, 2 versus 7. I just don't see Syracuse being able to pull out not two upsets in a row, but I don't see Syracuse being able to win 2 games in a row.
I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan. I'm going to say this because they're angry, they're upset, they're embarrassed. They are prideful. They might be soft, but they're prideful. I say Duke by 20.
Yeah.
I think they house them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this could be this will be the biggest spread of this round.
And the ACC tournament has always mattered to Duke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they want
always,
that. Yeah,
yes.
They want it more than the other team.
They're the defending champ. They want to do it again.
Which Syracuse under a new coach now might care about it more too, because we know Boeheim did not like traveling south to play in the conference tournament.
Believe it or not, I'd rather have a good game than a team just get killed. I really would.
Well, there you go. I'd rather see Carolina play every game by 25.
Well, we all would. Well, I'm sure you would, but at the same time, I appreciate the sport a lot. But no, I think Duke's gonna roll Cuse.
Yeah, and I agree with that completely. Especially being Duke's first game of the tournament.
Coming off that loss.
Yes, exactly. The last matchup of the quarterfinals that we had was Virginia and Clemson. I think Virginia wins. I think Virginia needs that win for the tournament. Clemson probably needs to win that to make the tournament too, but Virginia definitely needs to win it, I feel like, for the tournament. And Virginia, I really don't think is that bad of a team. I have no idea why they're not better, but they should be better. On paper, this Virginia team is way better than what they are.
And this is where we get to have fun and disagree.
Oh, you disagree?
I do. I think Clemson's going to take them.
Oh,
I think their height, I think their strength, their leadership. I mean, they have a really solid team. I mean, they're separated by 2 games.
Yeah.
In the ACC.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, Clemson is one more possession away from beating Duke in Cameron.
The game they should have won.
They beat Carolina in Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not going to give them all the credit. They have some very inexcusable losses too. That's why they're playing for their tournament life.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I think the strength and the physicality I'm going Clemson. I think Clemson. Right. I think it's tight. I think it's low scoring. I think it's a 62-57 kind of game.
No. You mean 52 to 49?
52-49.
First
that
to 50
shock
wins.
me either. Well, Clemson can shoot. That's why. That's one thing.
If Clemson gets to 60, they win without a doubt.
That's definitely true. But no, I'm going Clemson on that one.
And that goes against what I said on our very first show when I said Clemson, it was their year to win something. Obviously not. Obviously, I'm done having faith in Clemson.
Don't feel bad. I had Miami in my Power 5 on the very first one too. So
yeah. So that just leads us to what you think Carolina and Duke is the ACC title.
Yeah. I just think I think it's those 2.
Yeah.
And then there's really everybody else.
Man, I'm disagreeing with you completely. Yeah. I think sadly I got to go with Wake and Duke. Yeah, I just don't think Carolina cares enough. Like it's just.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. And
then
here's why I'm taking North Carolina.
Yeah.
Because I mean obviously they may not care about winning an ACC tournament, but I guarantee you they care about a 1 seed.
Man, yeah.
Oh, you want the 1 seed. It's the easiest path.
I mean, I agree with that, but I think they're guaranteed to play in Charlotte, whether they're the 1 or the 2 seed. I just don't know, man. It's hard for me to ever bet on Carolina in the conference tournament until I see it. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen it enough in my lifetime. If I was born 10 years earlier, I could have seen them win, probably 8 more ACC titles than what I've seen.
I will say this. I'm going to say it's going to be more of an 85-76 kind of game.
It'll be a high-scoring game, yeah, for sure. 100%.
But I think Carolina wins.
Yeah, I mean, and I hope that happens for sure. I 100% agree with that. I will say in the finals, you say Carolina destroys Duke is what you were saying?
No, not destroy.
Oh, okay. I thought your 10-point win. Is that what you said?
I think it very well could be. Okay, so
I will say if they do play again, I agree with that. I think if they play again, I think Carolina wins by double figures.
I'm frustrated with it because I've watched how Duke has played against similar teams that North Carolina has played against, and Duke has actually had a lot of really good performances against certain teams.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm still going to harp on this. They had 4 to 5 solid chances to take advantage of Carolina's mistakes, and they kept giving the ball back.
Yeah.
Each time. I mean, it's to the point where, I mean, I usually don't get frustrated and hit stuff. I hit my steering wheel. Not hard, but I gave it a little tap because it it's frustrating when you're like, okay, we were down by 15 in the first half. They were blowing us out in the first half. It was not going well. They fought. They clawed their way back. They figured out, Filipowski really got started well in the second half. And then when they get to that chance to, really take the lead, they just fall apart.
Yeah,
hand the ball back.
Carolina's really good, though, at letting teams come back and then just going on another run. Like, Carolina almost, a lot of their wins, Carolina will get up by 10 to 15, and then the other team will cut it to a couple. And then Carolina goes on another 10-0 run to basically put it away. But no, I do agree. I think if Carolina and Duke do play again, I think Carolina will win by 10 to 15. I think they do got it figured out. And I think they'll just want to win just more than Duke. Yeah. Sure. But yeah, I think Wake Forest wins the ACC title. I don't know why. I just feel like it. And I think maybe, plus I think it would just be cool to see their fans storm the court again after beating Duke. I mean, honestly, I think that would just be really cool. I think maybe that's just, me being,
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm kind of rooting for it. Even though it's there in Washington, D.C. and there's no Wake fans, I don't think in Washington, D.C., but, it'd be cool if the 3 fans they do have there would, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, I think it'll be a fun weekend, and I
love the ACC.
Absolutely, 100%.
My whole life, and I am picking North Carolina to win the ACC tournament.
There you go.
I really am. They're the best team. They're playing the best ball. Hubert,
great coach. Yeah. Hey, I told you on our very first episode. I told you that he was not as bad. No. Yeah.
He's got to figure things out, just like Shire's still figuring things 100%, out.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Shire needs to go get some bruisers.
Yeah.
Hey, some of those senior transfers that want to play another year, we're on ESPN a lot too.
He's gonna figure out that just getting all these top 5 recruits doesn't really mesh well. I mean, sometimes those teams just don't win. I mean, even the Miami Heat, the first year that they were all together, the first year that LeBron went to South Beach, they didn't win. So, let's switch over and talk about the awards here really quick. Do you want to?
Yes.
We'll talk about the ACC first, then we'll talk about Nationals. Just quick hitting. The first team, ACC, R.J. Davis, P.J. Hall, Kyle Filipowski, Hunter Salas from Wake Forest, and Blake Hinson from Pittsburgh. What do you think, man? Did they get it right?
That's yes. Yep. Well, okay. Okay, they got 4 out of 5 right.
Which one would you take off? Blake Hinson?
Yes, and put in Baycott.
Yeah, I mean, I could agree with that.
I mean, a lot of that award is stats.
Yeah.
Has a lot to do with that award. But I think when it comes to super just talented players, then, I mean, Baycott is a good player, and he's going to have a long NBA career, and he's going to make a lot of money playing this game.
Man, you have way more hope for him than I do.
I don't see – but he is exactly the kind of guy that most NBA teams need. I mean, I think he's your most important player.
Baycott?
Yeah.
Oh man, Jesus.
Because you got to fight those monsters from the Big 12 and the Big 10.
Man,
who else? Do you want anybody else going against Zach Edey? That's my choice.
Nobody's stopping Zach Edey.
He's the closest one I can think of off the top of my head. But at the end of the day, I do like the list. Hinson is a really good player. He's very strong.
Absolutely. I think the top 3 on the list, R.J. Davis, P.J. Hall, and Kyle Filipowski are the best 3 for sure. P.J. Hall does not get enough credit. And
no.
If he comes back to school next year, it'll be interesting to see if he transfers somewhere.
Transfer to Duke.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he does go to a bigger school because Clemson just, I don't think, is getting it done for him. But he could go to the NBA. He did flirt with it last year. So, Carolina had a player on the second team, Armando Baycott. Third team, Carolina also had Harrison Ingram, and Duke had Jeremy Roach. What's your thoughts on those 3 players? Obviously, we already know your thoughts on Baycott. What about Ingram and Roach being third team?
That's right. I think that's right. I mean, the ACC may not be the best conference, but it still does have a lot of really talented players. Jeremy Roach has actually been one of the key things that's really helped keep this team together.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the emergence of Tyrese Proctor has also helped. Finally, glad to see him back, but that's beside the point. I think they got that part right, and Harrison Ingram's going to have he's also going to make a lot of money playing this game.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if Jeremy Roach will.
Man, I think
he'll be a really good European pro. I think he'll play a lot of good quality years over there, but no, I think those are pretty spot on, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Roach, I don't think he's got much potential in the NBA, but I think he's one of those great college point guards. And honestly, it
reminds me of Nolan Smith.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it would have been cool to see what he could have done on a great team. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think Duke is a great team, but if you would have put him on a team such as UConn or Kansas or somebody like that, or Purdue,
he was on
even.
the 22 team that went to the Final Four, and he was a really big piece on that. He wasn't the biggest piece. That was Paulo and a couple other players.
Yeah, Paolo Banchero.
He's killing it for the Magic.
Man, I wouldn't even know. The NBA's going on? I have no idea.
Gosh.
Yes. So let's get into individual awards a little bit here,
Let's
I guess.
go.
Player of the year was RJ Davis.
Mhm.
I mean, I think we both agree. Yeah, I mean,
No
21 points,
disagreement
21 points a game. That's crazy.
I think PJ Hall and Filipowski gave a little bit of a fight to that, but
they had a combined 5 votes.
But that's because RJ, he's a unanimous.
Yes.
Okay, so if I was able to cast a ballot, I would have casted it for him.
Absolutely.
I really would have.
100%. Defensive player of the year, Reese Beekman from Virginia. I think a Virginia player should get it almost every year.
Well,
I mean,
that only makes sense because that's what happens when you play the most boring brand of basketball. Period. You play nothing but defense.
I know,
they're good at it.
They are the best defensive team.
Yes.
So I just say, just give it to any of their players every year. I mean, they had the top 2 vote getters. Ryan Dunn finished in second, so I'm okay with them with that. Rookie of the year was Marcus Burton from Notre Dame. I was kind of surprised by that one, honestly.
Yeah, a little bit.
I kind of thought maybe Jared McCain would get it, or really that was about it. I was kind of surprised that Cadeau didn't get any votes.
Maybe because they already had Filipowski on the one team. I don't. Yeah, I mean, not because I'm a Duke fan. I mean, Jared McCain was a great. I mean, Marcus Burton is good, and he's going to have a good career. But
I think
they got that one wrong. I think it should have gone to McCain.
Agreed, and I feel like maybe he got it just because he's going to be the only. I mean, he's probably going to be the highest drafted freshman out of the ACC.
I mean, to be fair, he had a losing record, and yet your guy wins for Rookie of the Year or Freshman of the Year.
Yeah, if you have
a problem with that.
Yeah, if you have a losing record, your team should not. Nobody on your team should win an award.
Yes,
unless they're putting up like triple doubles or some outrageous. Most improved player. I actually agree with this one. Ian Shefflin for Clemson. Yeah,
yes,
I agree with that one completely.
That's why I think Clemson's going to be a problem for Virginia.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, I just think
big bodies.
But Clemson Virginia can play games multiple days in a row.
Yeah, because they play such a slow pace.
Yeah, and that's why I just feel like I think that's another reason why I give them the edge. Sixth man of the year, Ishmael Leggett from Pittsburgh.
That's how many Pittsburgh players have gotten awards.
That's what I'm saying. Like I did not understand that.
They're on the bubble.
Yeah,
barely. If that, I don't even know if they're on the bubble. Also, I think they're.
Yeah, I mean they're off the bubble. They need to win the conference. The sixth man of the year award. I don't even really count that as an award most of the time. Anyways, coach of the year, Hubert Davis. I agree with that. I mean, I feel like they overexceeded. I also feel like a lot of people have written him off as a coach, and he bounced back great. I think Hubert.
No, that's the right call. When your team goes 17-3 in the conference, you're 4th in the country. You beat Duke twice, and both times Duke was a top 10 team, so it means something.
But it doesn't always need to be the team that wins the conference so gets coach of the year. Let's just throw that out there. It does. It does,
but I think he really has done the best coaching job.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying this year it works, but not every year. Like I feel like sometimes they just give it to that team. Yeah, to that team's coach, and it's like, okay, like obviously y'all didn't pay attention.
Yeah, that it kind of like the Marcus Burton over Jared McCain thing.
Yeah. That was. I mean, yeah. Let's national All-American team. Are you ready?
I am ready. See
the first team. This is the sporting news, by the way. I don't know. There's so many different.
I'll read them.
Okay. First team, Dalton Connect from Tennessee.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. R.J. Davis.
Okay. Good call.
Yeah. Zach Edey. Obviously. Tristan Newton from Connecticut. He had to put a Connecticut player on there. And Jamal Shedd from Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's a pretty solid list. Well,
considering that one of those teams in there mentioned, I think is going to win the national championship.
I will take all 5 of those teams, and let you have the rest of the field. I mean, honestly.
So, like me, you've also changed your tune on Houston.
Man, I think so.
Yeah, kind of have to. But we'll get into that here. But no, that's a great. I mean, there's obviously some players that I feel like could have. I feel like there's some players that really underperformed.
Oh, for sure, and that's the second team actually.
Yeah.
Because are you ready for the second team? Because I feel like all these guys
better be a Kentucky player on there.
I feel like all these guys underperformed. First of all, a guy that many people thought would contend for the player of the year, Hunter Dickinson.
What a letdown.
Who they have him as 7'2" now. Does it feel like he just gets bigger all the time? Like, I don't know. Like, anyways, yeah, 18 points, 10 rebounds, but not very.
You know what's getting bigger for Kansas? Their loss column.
Oh, yeah. 8 losses in the conference, the most since 89. That's insane.
You lost by 30 to Houston.
Yeah, and we'll get to this in a second, but that's when I started believing in Houston. The second on the second team was Dayron Holmes from Dayton. 20 points, 8 rebounds. I mean, that dude, he's under the radar. I'm going to say right now, this guy's going to be a steal in the NBA draft. When a team such as the Spurs or the Warriors that's probably about it. When one of those two teams get him, steal.
Pistons
suck. They're getting nothing's going to save them, man. Come on. Didn't they lose like 30 games in a row?
I'm saying this is a guy that should probably be higher on the list than people realize.
Agreed. Third player, Tyler Kolek from Marquette, possibly the best point guard in the country. The dude's unbelievable. He's going to do very good in the NBA. Shot 40% from three-point range, averaged 7 assists a game. 7 assists a game. Did have an injury there late in the year, though. So that, honestly, and that team, they kind of fell off a little bit, too. I think he could have been first team if they would have just kept winning. Next up, Jaden Ledee from San Diego State. You had
to left Shepard off that list from Kentucky.
Well, that's only 4. That's only 4.
Oh, okay. Let me see if they got that one right.
But Jaden Ledee makes sense. They made the Final Four last year. People kind of forget about him too because it's San Diego State. Another 20-point scorer, 8 rebounds, shot 55% from the field. Another player that I think could be good in the NBA. And he could lead San Diego State. They could do something in the tournament.
They could very easily make another one.
Absolutely. And so 5th on the list is not a Kentucky player. Mark Sears from Alabama, which I don't know if I agree with this one. I don't know.
They have not watched Shepard from Kentucky, especially in the last 5 games. That guy is absolutely killing it.
Did I say that at the beginning of the year? Reed Shepard being the best player?
Reed Shepard, thank you.
Did I tell you that at the beginning of the year?
Yes, you did.
I told everybody.
You were right.
I told everybody that. Reed Shepard.
He's an absolute stud, and that Kentucky team is humming now.
Well, Kentucky, I said at the beginning of the year, they were one of the top teams, nobody believed. But Reed Shepard, the dude's a Kentucky born and bred.
Mm-hmm.
His dad played there. He's always wanted to play there. This dude had success written all over him. The moment that he signed with them, I said, this kid is an All-American player of the year. And I'm glad somebody finally agrees with me. He's going to come back to school. There's no way he goes pro. He's going to come back to school next year.
Be the best player in the country.
Yes, 100%.
And listen, I hate Kentucky. Now, my feelings of that will never change, but Reed Shepard should have been on that second team.
He should be somewhere. He's not even on the third team, by the way.
All right, well, let's see what they got on the third team.
They do got a Kentucky player first. Antonio Reeves.
Yes.
20-point scorer at Kentucky. If you score 20 a game at Kentucky, you should be on a team. I don't even care what team. You should be on a team just because that's impressive.
It'll be an NBA team next year.
Oh, 100%. Well, that just opens a spot in their starting lineup for Reed Shepard. Next up, Baylor Shireman from Creighton, who, as I've said all year long, the most underrated player and a guy that I feel like, now that we're in March, can really step up. And I still think Creighton is a dark horse, which we'll get to in a second. But, yeah, Baylor Shireman, I just love his game as a 6'7" forward. Next up is one of your players, Kyle Filipowski. He should probably be.
I think that's right. Honestly, where he got placed, he definitely did not have a type of season to make him even a second team.
No.
So I think there's credit there.
Agreed. Next up was Johnny Broom from Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
That kid does everything for them.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
I watched that game with Auburn and Kentucky, which was a great game. And Johnny Broom that guy has got a long future in this game.
That dude's unbelievable. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back to school or goes pro. I assume he's going to go pro, but he's unbelievable. He literally does everything. And the last player, according to Sporting News, is Caleb Love from Arizona.
So you're telling me Caleb Love. Well, I guess they had a much better season. Well, not a much better, but a better season than Kentucky. I've watched a number of Kentucky games because when you find a team you really hate, you love to see them lose.
Yeah.
And so I've watched a number of Kansas, number of Kentucky, obviously North Carolina, all the other teams. But this Reed Shepard is absolutely – the fact that he wasn't on any of these lists is kind of a joke. I mean, there's a lot of people that would probably disagree with me on that, but the guy is one of the driving catalysts behind that team's success right now. Him and Reeves, for sure.
I mean, as much as I like Reed Shepherd, I just feel like I don't know, man. I don't know if he deserves to be on any of those teams, honestly. I mean,
12. He's a better shooting version of Cadeau.
Yeah, but you look at his stats, man. I mean, there was times where he just didn't play much. I mean, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, which is really solid, but that's not.
I guess if you look at it from that aspect, I've seen a completely different Reed Shepherd these last few games.
Well, yeah, because he's getting a lot of playing time, and I mean, I agree that I think it makes sense for him not to be on any of the All-American teams, but I do think he is a key player, and I think if he ends up being on the All-Final Four team here in a month, I would not be shocked at all. Which leads us to, let's go ahead and predict the Final Four now.
I am ready. Obviously, this is all subject to us not knowing what the bracket is.
Yeah.
I gotta feel like we'll do another.
So let's
episode.
Let's just predict 4 teams for the Final Four, and then let's go with like a dark horse team apiece. All right.
You got it.
So Final Four. First team I'm going to pick is going to be Purdue still. I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah. Who's going to be your first team that you're going to pick? I mean, UConn. All right. So
I'm going to put Justin. Yeah. This is my good blue, bad blue book.
I like it.
So B nuts.
Yeah. So you got UConn. I got Purdue.
All right. Purdue.
Yes. So second team. I'll go with UConn. For my second choice, yeah. Who's going to be your second choice?
Kentucky.
Oh, wow. That's going to be your second choice. Okay. Yes. All right. So
they're smoking hot right now.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely, man. They're a good team. They're a very good team. I don't know why people did not think that they were a good team. Man, I think my next one is gonna kind of surprise you a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe this is just a dark horse. I don't know, but I'm going to take Tennessee.
Okay. I know. I actually don't hate that pick because Dalton can connect from anywhere. Plus, their team is very, very big and physical. I mean, all right. So you want to talk about Duke having a hard time with physical teams? Yeah. Go back to last year's tourney.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically the same players.
Yeah.
And you see exactly the formula right there.
Look at how Carolina likes to be physical and look at how they killed Carolina or look at how Carolina killed Tennessee earlier this year. I just also think it's just Rick Barnes. You know, it's time that he gets to the Final Four.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee for my third pick.
All right. And for my third pick, I am going to take North Carolina.
Oh, there you go. I figured one of us had to take one of our teams.
Kind of hard not to take them with everything that they're displaying right now.
Yeah, agreed. I think, for my fourth one, I'm just going to take Carolina. I hate to do it. You know, I hate to be the homer, but, man, they're
all right.
Too tough, man. Who's going to be your fourth team?
The team that you've been talking about all year long. And I've been watching them. And they are tough. They are a good shooting team.
Oh, man.
Well coached.
You got me worried here. Is it Gonzaga?
No.
Creighton.
Yes. I'm going Creighton.
Because
this team is going to be the 3 seed from hell.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get in there with a 2 seed that's going to be the wrong. Now, you got to remember, everything is all subject because it's actually possible to see Creighton
as a 2 seed.
Seed. Kentucky is a 2 seed. These teams could bracket up.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
easily. So it's hard to – and I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, we will do a bracket episode.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So
bracket comes out Sunday. So, we'll do one before next Thursday.
Definitely. So we'll do that.
So, that's a pretty good Final Four that we look at. Let's pick like a dark horse, I guess, from a team from outside the top 10 right now. Here's the current ranking. So you can't, so outside the top 10. So let's go with a team outside the top 10. So.
All right. If I got to go one, I think. To make it to the Final Four?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm going to go a team.
I want to see what you're going to do.
Okay, well, I'm going to go kind of a shocker here. Okay. And a team that I feel like you wrote off a while back, Gonzaga.
All right.
I think this is the first time in a long time they're going into the tournament unnoticed. Mm-hmm. It's also, when's the last time they went into the tournament hot? Normally they just start off great and they just kind of I don't even care what they're doing in their conference final right now.
I do.
I mean, I do, but that's not going to persuade me.
They're losing.
But that's not going to persuade
I
me
know.
because
That makes sense.
normally they start off great and you're like, oh, it's December. Gonzaga's undefeated. They're going to be awesome. Then they go into conference and it's like, oh, nobody gives a crap. This year they started off kind of slow and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're still here, guys. And I think they could be a dark horse, man.
I am going to say out of everybody, I'm looking between 11 and 25.
Yeah. I mean, you can go lower than 25 if you want. It don't matter. I wouldn't either. Yeah.
All right. I'm really struggling with two of them right now. One of them I really trust, actually, even though they. All right, I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say Auburn.
Auburn's a good choice. I mean,
I was struggling between Auburn and Baylor.
Baylor's a good choice.
Baylor's a good choice because they play a monster schedule.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going Baylor.
Okay, Baylor's a good choice.
I'm gonna take them out. I'm going Baylor on that.
Baylor's a really good choice. I like Baylor's choice. Now let's go with a team in the top 10 that we don't trust at all.
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, that's easy. All right, which team do you got? Oh, you have the same team I got.
All right, then I'll pick a different team.
No, that's fine.
Because I actually have more than one.
Okay, I'm picking Arizona as a team I don't trust just because.
Okay.
Man,
So I'm gonna give you Arizona.
Yeah, I'm never gonna trust Caleb Love.
No,
and also it's Arizona. They lost to a 15 seed last year.
He is your Austin Rivers to me.
Yeah, well, they also the same team minus Kevin Love lost to a 15 seed last year.
Yes.
It's hard for me. They don't seem like the team. I got a team that's just going to bounce back. So yeah, I'm going to go with.
All right.
Go with them.
And since I'm gonna because I can't agree with you, I'm not going to let myself except for the Final Four because it's too easy. Iowa State. I'm going to tell you why I don't trust them because they haven't been there.
Yeah, I mean, and they're so under the radar that I think teams keep forgetting that they're even in the top 10.
Yes.
I mean, they're a weird team. It's like I can't tell if they're secretly really good or if they're just way overranked.
Well, I think, believe it or not, I think there's a little bit of aspect about the Big 12 that's a little bit overranked too.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean, neither one of us picked the number one team in the country to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, but I think Houston would be like my next team out. Okay. I'd believe in Houston now. After what they did to Kansas, like holy Jeebus, man, they are.
I also watched them blow a 26-point lead for Baylor.
Yeah,
they did win the game.
Yeah,
but.
It's also, I don't know. Houston, it's like this is the first year where they haven't had a big superstar on their team, really. Like, the last couple of years when they're like, everybody thought they were great, they had one superstar. This year they don't really have a superstar. So, I don't know, though. I would put them as my next team. I believe in them.
I think they're going to make a run.
Yeah.
It's just.
Oh, for sure.
But you got to remember, there's always that, because they're going to get a 1 seed. They'll probably get the 1 seed.
No, it's got to go to.
You don't think they'll win their conference tournament?
I mean, they probably will, but it's hard for me not to see in the committee giving it to Purdue just because if Purdue wins their conference tournament, they should be the overall number one just because, I don't know, it's just they love the Big Ten.
They do love the Big Ten, but right now, I mean, the Big 12 the Big 12 has to deal with Houston, Iowa State, Baylor, Kansas, and I think I'm missing one in there.
Oh, man,
that's all right.
Yeah, they got a good, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch, though, and I guess we'll be back sometime in the next week, I guess, to talk about it. Cause
probably on the same exact day as today.
Yeah.
If that works for him.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely works for me.
Other than the NFL playoffs, which is still second to me, but I do love them. Oh, the Thursday and Friday to get this bad boy rolling is my day. They're my days.
Yeah.
And Saturday and Sunday.
Just the whole NCAA tournament in general is just – this is the best month out of the year. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah. So,
I mean, I am an NBA fan, so once this is over, I do have the NBA. You love baseball.
Yeah.
And that's going to help for you. But
oh, yeah, I immediately, as soon as North Carolina loses every year, immediately it's just, okay, let's put on my Dodger hat and let's go watch the Dodgers.
So. I mean, even the years that Duke lost to Lehigh and lost to Mercer or whatever else failure they've had, I still watch all the way to the end. And then once the title game, and another thing I'm going to have to try to get used to, I'm a Jim Nance fan.
Oh, yeah.
And
he's not there, yeah.
That was it last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When he said so long, friends.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be
weird. It is. But either way, once one shining moment is done, I'm done till about September. Because even though the NFL trades have been incredible.
Yeah, it's been a good offseason so far. Yeah,
Different show.
yeah,
Yeah. So that starts the beginning of, to me, the most beautiful 3 weeks in sports.
yeah. March/April is
There's
always
just
like,
nothing like it. The
yeah.
madness is unreal.
Oh, it's awesome. I love it, and hopefully it never ends. I know they always want to change it, but hopefully it never ends.
Do you think we have a 2 seed make an early exit this year?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to go ahead
Yeah.
and say this right now. I don't see any of the 1 seeds getting Purdue.
No, none of them. I think all 4 number ones make the Sweet 16 at least.
Good call.
But yeah, I could see. Man, I don't even know about the 2 seed. I don't know. I think a 3 seed could lose in the first round. Yeah,
Duke.
yeah, or Iowa State.
Yeah, and that's why
Yeah,
I wrote them down. I don't trust
or
them.
Kansas even if they get the 3 seed. I can see them.
Okay. I actually do not think they're going to get there, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll dive into that next week.
Absolutely. So
yeah, it just all depends on what comes out in these brackets. So we'll have
I can't wait.
We'll have our exact picks next
yes,
week.
absolutely, 100%. Good blue, bad blue. We're done for the day. Check us out on YouTube,
Yes.
the Podcast Hell channel. Search for us on Spotify. Good blue, bad blue. That's Brandon over there.
And one last message for Duke between now and Saturday night: find your heart and find your toughness.
That's right. And I'm Justin, and I guess my last words will be remember to get your cat spayed and neutered, and we'll check you later.